Welcome back to Power Breakfast here on Citizen TV. Time for us to talk skincare and also a little bit about makeup. What is appropriate for the workplace? We do have an expert in studio to share more with us. Rose Ntomondu is a makeup artist and trainer and also been featured on the Top 40 Under 40 for her work in skincare. So Rose.
Hi Joyce.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
much. And you brought
much.
along a model, and we can introduce her as well.
This is Shalom.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one of my students actually.
Oh.
And a model as well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Let's start with just basic skincare.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, taking care of your skin as a man and as a woman? Because we have a lot more products on our face on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But for men watching, is that something that they should also be, looking out for and keeping their skin healthy?
Yeah, actually the biggest misconception with men is like they don't have to wash their faces every day. They don't have to use anything like a moisturizer. At the end of the day, if you leave your skin bare, you're exposing it, like to sunlight and all that. So just like women need to take better care of their skin because of the things that we pile on every day.
Right.
We've got the skin care, that's the moisturizers, the primers, all that, and then now you have the makeup, which at the end of the day it's chemical. So you need to take all that. And then so number one, it's how you take care of your skin, like the preparation, we call it the prepping. So before any application, you need to wash your skin, you need to tone it and moisturize before.
Okay. And how often are we talking about for someone who applies makeup on a regular basis? How often should you cleanse? How often should you tone?
Every day.
And moisturize?
Every day.
All three of those things.
Yeah, and now for toning, you don't have to use something like over the counter. You can actually use cold water, because toning is to balance the oils and to close the pores. So once you do that, most of us use hot water to wash the face. So you need to splash a bit of cold water to close the pores. That leaves your skin, the pores closed, so it's not dangerous when you apply this stuff.
And in what order does this all happen?
It's washing or cleansing. It's the same thing. Washing, cleansing, toning, and then moisturizing, and then you have the makeup after, not before. There's most Kenyan women say, I have oily skin, I cannot apply moisturizer. They just call it mafuta. Some of them use like the arenes and stuff like that. But you need to, number one, understand your skincare. Safe skincare, like what's your skin type? Like Shalom has like a combination skin. So if you have combination skin, you need to get something appropriate for that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So in terms of exfoliating, also the scrubs, the masks, how often is that supposed to be done?
So now masking depends on what you use. If you start from your kitchen, you can actually do that even every day because it's very safe. When you're using products, over-the-counter products, you can do that like twice a week when you start, and then after just once a week. Yeah, but it's always safe to just alternate with stuff from your kitchen. You can even use avocado as a mask. You can use something like
I've heard of egg white.
Yeah, exactly. Egg white and avocado mix, you can use that as a mask. It's really good. Or honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you said Shalom has combination skin.
Yeah.
So this is a
combination meaning she has a T-zone. That like this area right here is really oily, and then the rest of the area is actually normal to dry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are people who just don't believe in all of this. There are people who just say, I don't have that much time. I have responsibilities at home. Who has time to cleanse and do all these things? And I call them the people who believe in the soap and water regimen of just as long as I've washed my face along with my body, like everything is good. What are some of the dangers of someone who thinks that?
Now, especially for people who use these products, which I call chemical at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how organic any company says they are, it's chemical at the end of the day. It's not natural. So you need to actually wash your face, the way you prep your skin, and before at the end of the day, the way you wash it off, it's really important. And then using like the normal soap is not a good idea. So get something appropriate for the face. Like something that will take away all the oils and the dirt and the dust, all that. Yeah. So like I know most people like you use some like makeup every day. So at the end of the day, you cannot afford, no matter how tired you are, to just sleep with your makeup on. Meaning it's going to sink into your skin, and at the end of the day, it's going to cause you issues. So taking good care of your skin, washing off the makeup, and just leaving your skin, letting your skin breathe.
Another aspect of makeup use that a lot of people are never really quite sure about is in terms of hygiene of the instruments that you're using. How long should I use a brush for before I wash it, or how often should I get rid of sponges, or maybe you can talk a little bit about.
No, when it comes to makeup, brushes are the best. Because especially if you get the good brands, you can be able to wash them at the end of the day. And I recommend having like 5 sets of everything, or like 3 sets of everything. So let's say, for example, you have like 3 clients, you can use a separate brush for each one. You're not transferring. Let's say, for example, if someone has issues with your skin, you're not transferring the same issues to the next client. So, and if you can wash your brushes daily, that's a very good idea. And then if you can have sponges on the side, just throw them away, don't keep them. And then you have most women who use like the compact foundations, you know, or the compact powders. There's this compartment down here where there's a sponge. Throw that away.
Okay. Because
once you use it on your skin and put it down here, bacteria starts growing, and then you come back, and most of us even share, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter if you don't have like sensitive skin. At the end of the day, it's going to harm you.
Because it's bacteria that you're accumulating. Maybe we can start the process on Shalom here. I think we're going to do some, you know, a couple different looks, and today we wanted to talk about what's appropriate for the work.
For the office. So now, number one, most women don't know like the different makeup looks. You need to understand makeup before you start using it. Now, there's different ways of doing makeup. Now, like for Shalom, she's going to an office and she doesn't need to do that shouting makeup. If it's the eyebrows, let them be subtle. So for everything that you do when it comes to makeup, you need to just enhance. Do not change how it looks. So with I'm going to use an eyebrow pencil, and I won't like do that Naija eyebrow that most women do. So you just enhance, and you can see her eyebrows are pretty full. So all that I'll do is just fill them in, just a little bit, and try and get a pencil. Like for her, her hair is black, so I'm using a black pencil, but you can see the way I'm doing it.
Right. Just feeling it.
Yeah, just feel it in. Don't exaggerate anything. Most women just exaggerate the eyebrows, the lipstick, everything. So you end up looking drawn instead of enhanced, you know?
Right. So just some eyebrows to sort of you know, shape the face.
Exactly. Just to define them just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I noticed you didn't do any foundation on her before you started the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Is that typically how you operate, or will you use foundation on her?
There is no like strict rule on how you can do it, but the reason why I start with the eyebrows, because I'm going to use eyeshadow, and eyeshadow is powder. So it starts falling off on the foundation. I have to start cleaning up. So the best way is to start with the eyebrows first, and then that actually looks very neat. The eye makeup looks very neat once you do the foundation afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. How much foundation is appropriate for work? Because actually I was talking to Willis Rabu earlier, and he mentioned the whole thing of chicks wear so much makeup, and when you hug a coworker, you're left with flat stain of makeup on your shirt.
So now it depends with what you do. Let's say, for example, if it's for media like you can pile on a little bit more. Foundation is allowed because of the cameras and the light. Because like for her, you work during the day, most people. So the daylight never lies. It doesn't edit. Like let's say, for example, like for people in the media, that light actually edits makeup. It actually minimizes the makeup. So for you, you can pile on more. But for her, let's say, for example, if she does the wrong type of makeup, or piles on makeup, or has maybe a foundation that's a shade or two lighter, when she goes out in the light, that's the way she'll look.
Odd.
That's the way she'll look.
Okay. So a bit of contouring there on
on the eyebrows, just a little bit, not too much.
Okay.
All
right. In terms of eye makeup, you mentioned that you're going to do some eyeshadow. So how dark can you go for just a regular office workplace?
You can actually even go like do a smoky eye, but it needs to be subtle.
Okay.
It needs to be very subtle. So it's all in the colors that you choose. Let's say, for example, like for her, I want to use like a very subtle gold, you know, because of her skin tone. It doesn't really show, and actually just to enhance. So you don't do like that really dark gothic smoky.
How about eyelashes? How do we feel about false eyelashes
for the workplace?
Yes.
As long as you don't do anything extreme, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
The lash is not bad, mascara is not.
Mascara is not bad.
Okay.
As long as you do not exaggerate. The problem with women is exaggerating everything.
But that's sort of the world we're living in, isn't it? Like if you scroll down my Instagram feed, you just see everyone just with piles and piles of makeup, and
but you
like
see,
all trying to outdo
if you're just taking pictures for let's say, for example, for your social media or whatever, meaning you're just doing that kind of look. But if it's for the office, it's just going to look out of place. And maybe we can talk about that in terms of when does it become a distraction
in the workplace, because at the end of the day you're there to do a job and perform a certain duty. So you know, if you walk into a meeting and you've got the bright red lipstick and the eyelashes and everything,
the blue metallic eyeshadow,
what happens then? How, in terms of how people perceive you?
So the thing is, number one, people will think you don't know what you're doing. Because makeup is really tricky. Makeup is really, really good because it actually enhances how women feel about themselves, you know. But if you don't know what you're doing, you look like you're trying too hard. And that's, you don't want that.
Like you're just trying to skate by on your looks.
Exactly.
As opposed to your content.
Exactly.
So you have the other eyebrow.
Yeah, so trying to contour it.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see, like I've used a very light concealer. I haven't done the foundation yet, so I can use the foundation to cover that paleness. Yeah.
So other than her face just being, you know, nicely toned and cleansed and moisturized, is there any type of primer or anything that you would use to make sure that makeup sets in?
Yes. Now for her, because of the T-zone that she has, the oily part. So try and use, there's different types of primers, and a primer is what you use before the foundation. A primer has two benefits. A primer, number one, especially if it's mattifying, will keep the oils from coming out. And then number two, it's going to set your foundation, make the foundation actually last longer. Yeah, so you need a primer before the foundation, especially if you have oily skin or combination skin.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if, let's say for example, you have a long day and you need the makeup to stay longer, just use a primer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into eyeshadow now?
I'm just going to set that just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, before.
Okay. But like you're saying, I think it's very important for women to know what type of skin is that you have. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very important that way, because you see the other mistake that most African women make is if I see your skin looking really nice, I start asking, what do you use? And I'll run and buy it.
That's true.
And then I don't think about like what's your skin type and what is my skin type. If I have extremely oily skin, if you have dry skin, meaning I'm going to be using something that's adding more oil to my skin, to my face, so it makes you oilier and more uncomfortable, and at the end of the day might end up just causing you issues. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm using like a goldish, subtle eyeshadow. I'm just trying to go subtle completely. You can actually even opt for a day look. You can opt to not to use any eyeshadow.
Any eyeshadow.
Yeah. So now for her, I really this complexion. Most people don't know how to play with it. It's the best complexion to actually wear makeup, and people, most of them decide not to, because they're like, I will not get my foundation. The eyeshadows are off. Yeah. Yeah. So during the days, try and go for subtle, you know, earthy tones instead of the bluish, you know, metallic shade.
Right. So earthy tones.
Yeah. So you can even go on and get a darker shade, like a black shade, just to
on the edges.
Yeah, on the edges. You can even just run it down a little bit, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah.
We haven't gotten to the lips yet, I know, but I've got to still keep asking the question. Yeah. Is red lipstick a taboo for a daytime look? Is that the point where you should stick to more nudes?
No, not really. Now this is the thing with makeup. If you are going to use, during the day you can wear whatever lip you want, but try and do not do color here and color here. It doesn't work. Okay. So if you decide to do a red lip, go nude over here. You can actually have this and a red lip, which I'm going to do. So it actually works. So don't do blue eyeshadow and a red lip.
And a red lip, yeah.
And it looks like runway.
You end up a little clownish.
Yeah.
So eyeliner?
Yeah, so just a little bit of liquid eyeliner. Just a bit.
Okay. So nothing too dramatic.
Nothing too dramatic. Just a little bit. Just the whole point is just to enhance. So when you do eyeliner on top of the lashes, it actually gives the illusion of like fuller lashes even before you do the mascara. And then we just give that a minute to dry, and then you can go on with our foundation now. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So and what type of foundation are you using?
I'm using liquid foundation. I kind of have silicone. So number one, what you need to do is to pick out the right shade, and you test on the jawline.
All right.
Yeah, so
now in terms of someone with oily skin, which type of foundation works better? Is it liquid? Is it, you know, the sticks, or what works best?
Depends with the brand. Okay. Yeah, like you'll find some cream to powders are very oily in some brands. In other brands it's matte. Okay. So the other thing is you need to know your your brand. You need to understand your brands. Before you buy anything, just get consultation and understand what you're buying. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Quite involved. It's not as simple as just putting powder on your face and getting to go. So in terms of the training that you do, you train other makeup artists, or do you just train individuals who want to know more about, you know, how to take care of their skin?
I do both. I do both professional and personal training. So for professional, I train makeup artists. I've been doing it for 7 years now, and most of them are very successful in the industry. So one of the things that I train them is hygiene. The other thing is like picking the right products. You find many women in their handbags, they have counterfeits.
That's true.
So that's the other thing. So we need to educate people on products, on like where to get the correct thing. And we have so many quacks, even makeup artists. You know, someone will overcharge you, and what they're using is completely fake. You know, at the end of the day, ends up messing your skin. Yeah.
All right. So like you said, this is a light daytime look, so not too much foundation. Also, I can see you doing quick strokes that way. All right. And some powder also? Yeah,
some powder to set. Powder always sets. So another thing now with powder that some women don't understand is do not pile on powder. Powder has talc, which completely dehydrates the skin if not used properly. So a powder can actually last you up to a year.
Wow.
Yeah. It should last you at least 6 months.
So yeah, that's the other thing. How long should you have your foundation for? How long?
Depends with the company, but most of them 12 months.
12 months.
Yeah.
Okay, not longer than that.
Yeah, not longer than that. Not longer.
Not the one you have in your bag.
If they start smelling, please throw it away.
Important.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to make sure everything is blended. Do not leave anything unfinished. Okay, so I'm trying to cover everywhere.
Okay. All right, I think what we're going to do now, just so we can give you enough time to sort of finish up this daytime look, we're going to move over to the other set. Willis Waburu is standing by with his Man Cave panel. So they will start their conversation, and then maybe we can check back in to see the finished product. I am here with Rose Ntongondu, who is a makeup artist and trainer, showing us about what it looks like to have some daytime looks that are appropriate for the workplace. Of course, we'll have the final product for you before the end of the show. Keep using the hashtag #PowerBreakfast here on Citizen TV.
Thank you very much, Joy. Of course, that's going on that side, and like you can see, Joy has some lovely ladies over there helping her out. But today on Man Cave, we're going to be going back there, of course, to check out on them a little bit later on. But today on Man Cave, we also want to look at the same, but now for men. It's what they call the metrosexual man, the emergence of the metrosexual man. And of course, to help us dig into this more, we have one Sheila Kwambox. She's right here. She's going to be helping us now about contouring. The one word we know. Roy Karuhizi is here as well, manicured, sort of tuambia little happy, and Pastor Kuria, who stood in the ball. The rest is a prayer item. Let's talk about so it's an emerging trend, and of course we see men siku hizi wanaenda kwa salon, tunataja majina. Wanaenda hapo, they get their curls right, the Luther Vandross curl and stuff like that, their cornrows etc. But then there is grooming, which is good, and then there is the metrosexual man. So what are your thoughts on the metrosexual man? I guess we'll start with Sheila.
I think with you know me, I'm always with the fact that it is okay for a guy to take care of himself. In fact, now that we know you're not going to the shamba, you know, you're not going out there to hunt, you're not doing all, you know, all hard labor. You know, it's nice to have your man kempt. Yeah, that's the key word, kempt, but not too kempt. You know, I don't want you to be more kempt than I am. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just keep it decent. Do your nails, do your hair, shave your beard. Don't have it scruffy. When I lean in for a kiss, my
scoring powder.
Yeah.
No. And of course, you can also talk to us using the hashtag Power Breakfast on Twitter, and also the SMS lines are open. It is 22422. What are your thoughts about male grooming? I want to quickly Wikipedia wanasema hivi, metrosexual is metropolitan. It's kind of a mixture of metropolitan and sexual, coined in 1994, describing a man, especially one living in an urban post-industrial capitalist culture, who is especially meticulous about his grooming and appearance, typically spending a significant amount of time and money on shopping as part of this.
No. Kunta Kinte is the way things are meant to exist.
Right.
Usiharibu Kunta Kinte. That's a real man that you get attracted to. That brute in him is what has attracted you. The moment you guys start looking the same in the house, utaanza kubishana juu ya mawivu, nani amevaa za mwingine, viatu ziba zangu. You can't completely mess around with someone's role. And really, this is where I start saying democracy is a dangerous thing. When you make things too liberal, you give everyone a voice. Some people have no right to think for themselves, right? So when a man starts abusing his right to think as a man, then we need to start putting in laws that control him.
Wow.
Yes. Because I think there's a limit, right? The moment you start keep opening people up to these newfound freedoms, ataanza na skirt, anze kuvaa nini, mini skirt, alafu endelee kwa nini?
I think we're getting
yes.
I think we're getting lost.
Don't give a guy an inch; he will take a mile. Exactly.
No, but what we're saying is the metropolitan or the metrosexual guy is a guy who now is aware of the fact that I need to look good, and we're not talking about dressing like a woman. We're just saying this is the guy who has 100 suits, 100 custom-made suits in his wardrobe. On top of that, he has like more shoes than I have. He has 100 pairs of shoes because he knows that for every suit he wants a different kind of shoe. This is the kind of guy who has like thousands of ties, designer ties. He has jewelry, he has rings, he has, he likes to look good. He goes and does his nails. He goes to the barber, regularly. He goes for a massage, he goes for a facial. There's nothing female about that. That's just a guy who's taking care of
a man who has just applied for Madare Hospital.
You know you're describing pastor.
You see,
pastor is skin.
Let me comment. I always say boundaries are very important. Boundaries. Another thing, the reason I'm doing that, what is the motive behind my makeups and what have you? Because sometimes now I'm in the TV. Before I come here, there are some makeups that I'm applied on. But when I'm outside there, I don't apply those makeups. You get what I mean? So it depends, why am I doing what? But it is odd and it looks weird for me to be in a salon every week together with my wife. Mkibishana nani ataanza kwanza. It got beyond limits. As a lawyer has said, let's have some boundaries and let's have limits as we continue doing whatever we are doing.
But then the barber shops now do you don't have to go to the salon, guys. We're not saying that we're not talking about a homosexual, we're talking about a metrosexual. When you go to your barber shop, now they even massage your head, right? Before it used to be unachapa spirit unatoka, sindio? But now how it's
barber house to salon.
Siku hizi you go, unafanyiwa massage, unafanyiwa there's so many other things. In the barber shop.
Vitu zinafanya because it's simple. Man needs money. So those guys are doing anything to get cash. They did. That woman is massaging. I won't even go into what reason. But when as Pastor said, the only reason he applies makeup is to repair the damage he has. Damage. Just before the show. That's a different reason.
But the question is this as well, and you see, we are also talking about the fact that, like Sheila said, you go for them. These days, even the barber shops per se are changing with the times, but still there are those who take it to the extreme. Like ukienda salon pale nasema sasa wewe baby eno kae pale, hata mimi nimekuja kuwekewa hii design kwa nywele. Maybe their favorite hairstyle ni hiyo Jerry curl. So mnakaa hapo pamoja, huyu jamaa anakupaka
mafuta ya kupika,
inakaa una sex sijina kwanga how many minutes mystery.
It depends with where I'm going at that point. If I'm going to maybe to do some music somewhere, maybe to do some movie for that particular time. I can go for salon, but not regularly. Let me not make it a habit. Let me remind myself that I'm still a man. I want to maintain that character of a man.
Like there's that picture we are seeing there. Unaona sasa huyu man ameipeleka ako na contouring, I think amefanya shida tatuambia. Ametoa tint kwa mapua, ako na eyelashes hapo ameweka hivyo hivyo. Wengine anaenda special effect. Ameweka hapo mamambos na pia beard yake haiko helter skelter kama ya Roy hivi.
Let me tell you something. Helter skelter ndio nzuri. Let me tell you something. We have to complement each other. The moment someone starts taking somebody else's role, right? It's like now encouraging women to be rough. I think encouraging women to be tough, crude, that thing where enda chini ya gari niko na puncture when you ndio kazi yako.
But there are women who are mechanics.
I'm just saying we don't encourage it because the reason is once you start encouraging it, it stops moving from them. It's not a bad thing to do to maybe the best thing to do tomorrow. Don't start a trend. Yeah? So tumeanza na a few scarves here, guys wanavaa scarves when they walikuwa nasema it's cold. That's hot, they're still buying them. They're not removing them mpaka sasa. It starts going into other things. What I'm saying is being liberal about it is very dangerous.
So let me tell you something.
I am saying cut it.
First,
stop being liberal.
First, as I'm seated here, for the viewers there, there's a lot of, I mean, there's different fragrances, very, very beautiful fragrances coming from Pasta, from Roy who smells like $1,000, from
a million.
You know, $1 million. You know,
no, that's me. Zimbabwe millionaire.
You guys smell all good, and if you're saying that you know the man is supposed to be rugged, see before like when you're out there hunting and mulianza kujipaka cologne lini.
Lakini pia unajua
cologne was something that was for the women. The nice scents and everything were for women. It was not for the man. But now the men are embracing. Unajua hautaki kunuka jasho.
No, stinking was never for the man. That was
your thing, my friend.
There's a thing.
That was your thing.
There's a thing where hata mtoto akizaliwa siku hizi unaambiwa na DJ Soxy aliniambia hivi since he was a recent dad. Congratulations. Alisema unaambiwa at some point utachukua mtoto unamlalisha hapa hivi ukiwa bare chest ndio anuse ajue mtoto ajue harufu ya mwanaume. Sasa harufu ya baba pengine haitakuwa aquadijiwa, haitakuwa Givenchy, Bulgari, itakuwa ile kajasho.
Guys, in church there is something we call hierarchy. I think even in government, whereby you find that there is the elder, there is the chief, there is the sub-chief, there is the blah 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 up to the president. Yeah?
There's a position called
also in life, let not forget that somebody right now who is in South Kinangop somewhere watching me, and another person who is in Muranga watching me, and from here they are going to cut the grass for the for the cows and what have you, is equal with me, who is now being watched by every Tom, Dick and Harry in the TV. So my standards as far as makeups are concerned, it must be as per my class. But now what I'm trying to teach the person who is now in Ocha, that when he comes to urban, he should feel inferior because he does not look like me. What I want to tell them is, I look like this because of this Caucasian of 1 hour. Yeah? When I get out of here, I'll be a real man. So when you are a real man, don't feel inferior because others are going to salon. They are going to salon because they are going to perform. They are going to salon because they are
so
going to...
So unaendaga manicure?
Hiyo ni swali na gani?
So unaendaga?
Unatuanga
naenda kwa sababu when I come here, sio nionyeshane cuticles hapa zimechomoka chomoka.
Mpaka na Jones netwa cuticles.
You know, I also go for massage because of my body. Yeah, but telling our Ocha guy to pay 2,000 shillings for massage for 1 hour.
What?
That's abusing that person. Okay.
Another discount.
No, but let me ask you. The question here is, Pastor, we understand. We understand that a metrosexual man is not for every region of this country. It's Mombasa, Kisumu, if you go to Eldoret, if you go to Nairobi, because they are the most metrosexual men I've ever seen in Mombasa. But that's what happens with city life. When Joey and the lady were talking about office makeup, there are standards of how you can't just present yourself nowadays. If you're going to say a job interview or a meeting, you have to look a certain way. You can't just come there mandevu ziko kila pahali, you know, because you're trying to be the brute man. It depends on the work that you're doing, because in this city there are people who are doing Jengo work, there are people who are in construction, there are people who are in farming who are not interested to be the metrosexual man. But that is a thing that is especially for the working class.
Okay, I think we're confusing words here. We're confusing a well-kept man with a metrosexual man.
It's not exactly what a metrosexual man is.
It's not. According to the definition, Mutu wanna spend more time on his appearance. A young urban,
not on to the
an interest in fashion and a refined sense of taste.
But then you went about something about him spending time. Takes extreme.
It's not about extreme. It's just taking time.
Takes a lot. Spends more. I can't remember what part of the definition.
Oh, the part where it says who is especially meticulous about his grooming and appearance, typically spending a significant amount of time.
You see, the word significant is being brought there because it means more than is expected or more than is regular. So it's not what is expected. When they're saying significant, they're saying to the point that it's so noticeable, it stands out. So that's not normal. It's beyond normal.
So looking sharp.
So looking sharp, do not confuse looking sharp and dapper. Because that's going to be controlled by, first of all, the zeros on the account, and other things, right? And when Madam lets you release his funds accordingly.
But I don't think
but here we're talking about a guy extending himself. Significant. Extending himself. It is wrong to start extending yourself because the limits are not being made. Get my point. It starts with the small things we do, which we have right now said, yes, we will go for a manicure and what. Then tomorrow pastor starts deciding that he needs to do something with his eyebrows. Right? Then tomorrow it starts moving on. Now that the trend is beginning, whether these things are acceptable, let's not encourage them. I keep talking about encouraging. Let's not say it's a good thing to do. Let's in fact frown on it so that people are discouraged from making it a habit. Why? Because you start by getting an inch, as you said, move on to a kilometer, then move on to a full SGR.
Now let me tell you exactly what's happening. We're currently at the SGR on our way to the
looking like
Budalangi border. I'm telling you, because at the end of the day, especially with the digital, now people are more aware of self. You know, before it was you know, how you look, you know, just dress good and just go out there. But now people are more, I don't know whether the word is peacocking with digital. As soon as if we go to our individual digital spaces, right? Most of the pictures there are about yourself. Forget even the filter, are about yourself. So you take the first picture, and you know you get like 5 likes, and then you get a better outfit. You know, do your eyebrows, and you get 10 more likes. What ends up happening?
You keep doing it.
What happens is you go look for better outfits. You go look for manicure, you go do your hair, all of a sudden you have 100 likes. That is what is happening. That is what is happening.
That's called a disease. As we're saying, the moment you start having guys who start who start putting in a little bit of makeup here and there, a little bit of touches here and there, they start taking on feminine habits. Do not give a chance for those habits, because tomorrow will be the same guy saying I woke up like this.
That is already happening. That is already happening. That is already happening.
And you're encouraging it.
I'm not encouraging it. I'm just already saying.
My God is good. He takes care of me like this.
Roy, that's program.
No, you're encouraging it. Are you serious?
We form habits, but the problem of what we have formed, it decides our future.
Exactly.
So here we need a lot of a great control.
Control.
We need somebody to control. Otherwise, if you go beyond, it is actually insulting even yourself before other people.
Because like you're saying, it started with manicure, pedicure, massage, then it went to now the dudes want to go to
eyebrows and what have you.
Then the shirts are beginning to look like dresses,
and then there's also kuna top level, but kuna kitu inaitwa manscaping.
I've seen her saying she's fighting for it, and the problem is then run for women's rep.
No,
if that's the way you're encouraging guys, continue.
But women's rep is not about...
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
be clear.
It talks about respecting a woman's role or place.
Right.
And what she does. And not taking up women's behavior. That's what it's about.
I am telling you,
there needs to be a tax, if I was a face for that. Femitax. You catch a guy tax. Yeah, you start behaving like a woman will tax you for it.
But here's the thing, let me just say, right? In fact, right now I'm about to chop you guys vocals, because at the end of the day, look, me, I'm sitting here saying, when I meet a guy, I want him to be a guy. I don't care what you're dressed in, but just be a guy. You understand? Yeah, be a guy. If you're going to come through, you've done your eyebrows, you've done your nini, you've in fact, you even have nail extensions, my friend. By the time we meet, even before that meeting is over, I'm already gone. Like, lose my number, because that can't work. But this is not a situation that women are creating. You understand? This is a situation that just you men are creating.
Yeah, we are creating because most of us have got nobody to mentor us or to mentor us.
Mentor and
so the mentor we have and the mentor we always see is our moms. You get me? Because there is always absence of my dad.
So I think the metrosexual man is an offshoot of women lack of mentorship.
Of women taking more of the authoritative role in raising men. Yes, and men not playing their part. So first we accept it as men. Two, then what do we need to do as men? Exert control. I'm telling you guys, I went in school, yeah? We used to cause a lot of chaos in class, right? And we get around with all sorts of warnings. Told it's not good to do this, it's not good to do that. But the day one kid was bashed, the amount of discipline that came out the next week by the example of that child was amazing. Us girls all became monks. That's simple. So it's as simple as saying if you don't set a rule, a punishment, a fine, something, you just declare it illegal for guys going to beauty shops.
No, but I'm telling you, that's sort of because with that kind of mental is where you find a guy is beaten, you know, just because of how he's dressed. You know, some guys mob justice him. That's not
I'm not saying victimizing.
At the end of the day, what I'm looking at is a situation where, as much as guys are losing sort of their role, it goes back to, hey, guys are evolving. Is it bad for us? No, wait.
Using that word.
It is what is happening, Roy. You cannot deny things that are happening every time.
Stop them happening.
It is already happening. I'm just stating what is ongoing. You understand? So I'm saying this is clearly an evolving thing. And note, you can't chastise a guy who's grown up in no hardship whatsoever. This guy doesn't lift any rocks. He doesn't go out to hunt. He wants to look good. All he does is use his fingers on the computer. He drives his car home. He never interacts with dust or dirt. He likes to keep clean. Is that a bad thing? And now he realizes, oh, there's more things in this what's the word, in this consumer environment, where every time you log onto your Instagram, there's someone selling you a nice pair of shoes, there's someone selling you nice cufflinks, bags. Before you know it, you're already in the metro. Wait, you have a man bag. You have a man bag.
Manly bag.
Oh,
manly man bag. Yeah, don't confuse. The lead is so important.
I feel like we're being a bit unfair to the metrosexual guy, because if this guy was say in Ushago, chances are he wouldn't be doing all these things. It's society that dictates that.
Shira, what about if this guy goes to Ushago? What is he going to teach the Ushago guy?
The other guy kids to play with feathers.
That's because I want wherever I go to read the mask.
You know this
guy. Talking about the other time, now she wants kids to play with feathers.
Let's take a look at what guys are saying on SMS platform, which is 2242. We'll go when we go back to the other side. Somebody has a question for the makeup artist on the other side. She says she used to like using makeup. She used foundation. She started getting pimples. What does she do? So maybe when we toss it over to you, you'll be able to help her out. Then somebody says in America, more black men are becoming homosexual because of this thing called fashion and looking good.
What?
You're encouraging it.
Disputable. We'll see. We'll talk about that. Then Willis, you know, a party from Kitale. Willis, mulitoa with this cute girl Sheila. She's very gorgeous. Na gorgeous is spelled G-O-G-I-O-U-S.
It's cheaper that way.
Yes, it's good. Then Justice Dishana hapo Jogoro anasema kwamba mbona Pasakuria anaonekana ako restless, mpatieni ino.
Sheila says
you metrosexual man
In fact, we're talking about pasta. We're talking about pasta.
He's a well-groomed man.
Exactly. That's
okay, this bad than saying it, but the fact is
I never go beyond. I never go beyond because I want.
Pastor, how many pairs of shoes do you have?
More than 100.
There we go.
More than 100.
Meticulously focused on his fashion. Yeah, that is what a metrosexual man is.
I also have close to 100, and I don't have any problem.
That's why I started this session by saying we're describing you guys.
No, I have more than close to 100 pairs of shoes, but it's how those shoes look. None of them are pictures of flowers and all sorts of things.
That is not what a metrosexual man
just saying, don't reach a point where you feminate a man. That is my problem.
That's not what metrosexual is.
What you talk about, you know what we're talking about is moving from the manicure to the eyebrow plucking. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, wherever we are doing, whatever we are doing,
whatever we
are doing, whatever we do,
and Manfrabu, you waxing.
Yeah, my waxing.
Let's bear in mind that it depends with where I am going. Yeah, and what I am going to do. There. Because I'm a movie actor. When I'm acting movies, I cannot behave like a pastor. I'm a comedian. When I'm doing comedies, don't look at pastor, look at comedian. Yeah. I'm a businessman. When I'm doing my business, don't look at the car that I'm having, because I have to go with a Porsche car for me to get the contract that I need. But when I'm coming here, I come with a cheap one because what you are driving is cheap, and I don't want
quicker pressure.
Yeah, quicker pressure. So
when you say here, you mean citizen?
No, I mean where you are. Okay. So whatever we do, let's know where we are going.
Right.
Even if I go to salon, it's not, to me it's not evil. It depends with what I'm going to do at that particular time. So I don't have problem with Shira.
No.
Of course you have problems. Yeah. I just want to answer something that someone said there, that when someone starts being metrosexual, it's a segue to become homosexual. That is the biggest fallacy. You can't become homosexual. You either are or not. And it's got nothing to do with how you dress. Because there are so many butch guys there who are like the realest men who are gay. So it's got nothing to do with fashion. And let's just state, a metrosexual guy is in no way feminine whatsoever. It is just someone who's decided. Just because you're taking care of yourself extremely does not mean that you're a woman. It does not mean that. Because when we take it back, every single time we discuss these issues and we're like, you guys always bring it like, our forefathers, how we were raised, blah, blah, blah. You were not raised like your forefathers. You were not, unless...
Unfortunately.
Have you ever hunted?
Unfortunately.
Why do we go to school?
No, I'm just asking because that's why your forefathers...
I've hunted for money, not in a club.
Hold on, and not in a club. So you've never hunted?
I've hunted for cash.
Have you ever farmed?
Yes, I've also dug for money.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So your experiences are very different from what was there. So hence, if this was what was happening with our forefathers, chances are this is what they'd be doing. We'd be discussing a whole different thing.
The way you do things as a guy has changed. But what has not changed? So you're evolved.
You said you didn't want change. Now it's evolved.
Yes. No, I'm saying it's too drastic. These are changes. I'm saying things that could have changed. Right. But what has not changed is the fact that you're a man. A man. Don't change that.
But when you start, you're not a man.
No, let me tell you. When you start getting in touch with your feminine side once a week, then it becomes once every 13 minutes.
Yeah, you get me time.
Then you start saying.
But my question is this: so because most people are basing the argument on, I've seen arguments on time. Like Sheila said, don't take more time than I do getting ready. So we have a man who maybe wakes up again and a shower, alafu anaosha, ana cleanse, alafu anatone, alafu gel nywele, alafu avae, everything is matched, everything is okay. So is that taking too much time? Because there are people who are confused, like, okay, so is what I'm doing right? What is too much?
As I told you earlier, I'm going to repeat again. It depends with the occasion that I'm going at that point.
What if it's just daily life?
Daily pasta.
Daily life, I must be attractive. I must be attractive both in private and in corporate.
Thank you. What's your question? If he's doing it daily, is it wrong or right?
You're talking about him, yeah?
Don't ask him if he's doing it daily. No.
It depends whether I'm going to an occasion daily.
You're not fighting to be a governor here, so don't take all sides. Just say which side you sit on. Well, it is wrong if it's daily. It starts making a habit of doing that every day.
It's wrong.
Wrong.
Stop bullying him to say it's wrong.
He's not bullying me. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
Sheila, when you make a habit of these
it's
things,
so perfect.
when you, my goodness.
It's an exfoliate.
Those are specially scrubbing.
Can we discuss the topic, not me? Okay, now, because we are going to make other people start admiring me.
You see, guys, I'm saying you can get in touch with your feminine side once in a while. The moment your feminine side becomes one of your best friends, you're no longer man.
Wait,
and I'm saying, I also, that's what I was going to ask, is that
guys have a feminine side?
They do. You've seen guys crying during football. That's so feminine.
Not your feminine side. That's just your side. That's just your side.
No, guys, honestly, guys have a feminine side. What we're saying is, you know what? It only makes them more human.
Right.
Because that level of compassion they have sometimes tends to be as well endowed as that of a woman.
What are you saying?
No, I'm saying guys have a feminine side. But the problem happens is when you dial it up too much. You keep switching on that jig of feminism.
So let me ask you. So if I do something, like if I change a tire, that's my manly side.
You could
get out of here. Get out of here.
Could feel
I'm a man and I'm a woman.
How we behave is what determines that.
No.
Not our faces.
It's biology. Biology is what determines whether you're a man or a woman. It's as simple as that. So if you have
even the way you the way you wear.
That's his feminine side coming out.
If you come 3-4 times with jeans and ties and blazers and what have you, you look more man than a woman. Everybody will start
questioning you. Don't tell me it's biology.
They are nothing because they are not seeing your anatomy.
So wait. So what is all biology? It's all biology. What are you saying?
Okay, being a crook also biology. It's not the way you behave.
No, that's just
who you are is determined by your behavior.
Let's really back in as we take even some more comments here. Kuna mtu hapa anasema he didn't leave his name or he or she didn't leave their name but number ends in 072. Anasema mwanaume dume ni kunuka jasho.
Guy.
Another says for breakfast do that which distinguishes a man from a woman. Period. Then kuna moja pia hapo acha jina baada na sifu tushila Willie that girl she's so cute tell her to keep it up. And then on Facebook here on Twitter rather
na mmefanya manicure.
How did you have the Ngosi saying mwanaume ni kajasho na kuparara kiasi kwa box tuwache.
Yes.
And then Lynn Bradis anasema grooming is a plus to a man. So that's a lady saying that grooming is a plus to a man.
Absolutely.
The fearless influencer ametuwekea picha hapo with what Roy was talking about, men in different colored attire. And then we look at that and other people are still just sharing some pictures about yes, anyway, mutaenda hapo kwa hashtag for breakfast muzione.
Willis, let me just add this, just a spanner in the works. Congolese men, for example, if you go to Congo, if you go to Cameroon, if you go to Nigeria, I mean, the guys are more dapper dressed, more focused on their attire, and these are some of the manliest men you'll ever find. What is wrong with that?
As I've said,
just to quote even a recent song ya Papa Jones alisema alienda akakutana na Fally Ipupa akamwambia nywele weka dye sura weka mafuta.
But you see, what guides us here in Kenya, let me say about Kenya, we have culture. Let's not run away from our culture. It really gives us guideline. It really gives us guideline. You man, you are supposed to behave like this. A woman is supposed to behave like this. When you behave like this, maybe you are a man, a more woman minus man in you. All these things are guided by culture. So let's maintain our culture, and we are not going to be confused with these funny things.
So let me ask you a question. Just like that lady said, from a woman's point of view, like if you see a man who is well kept, like sema amefanya manicure, hairline kuto sawa hapo kanini, fade away, etc. Akona line, everything is done neat, dress well put together. Versus
don't make
raggedy.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, okay, not rag. Okay, beard kama ya Roy. Let me not overdo it.
And
then, it's just financial challenges.
So what I'm trying to ask really is that is it more attractive for women to see a man who is taking care of themselves?
Yes.
Is that a good...
appearances are literally everything. It's just the same way when a guy looks at a lady, you want someone who's like, who
who looks presentable. It's the same thing with the guy. I'm not going out there looking for the most metrosexual man out there or the most raggediest man out there. It's how you present yourself. Even if you're not going to do a manicure, but at least you're wearing clean clothes and like you're not smelling of sweat. Perfect. But just to go back to Roy's point, yeah, grooming. Grooming does not make you feminine. It doesn't. What makes you feminine? Because you were saying your feminine side. No, you're more in touch with your feminine side. Someone who's in touch with their feminine side is someone who puts on a dress. When you're taking to that extreme where you're putting on lipstick, you're putting on eyeliner, you're doing things that are known to be female things. Because if you're saying being in touch in your feminine side, for the longest, your great grandfather right now will sit here and see pastor with nail polish and be like, what is going on? But this is just the reality of things.
But I think before you say something, I think you have seen nowadays young men wearing those skirts.
I told you just a skirt
and a trouser inside, and they are saying it's fashion. The next thing you'll see, they will cut short the trouser, they will be left with
the short.
Who have taught them this? It's not their grandfather. It's not their mother.
It's Scottish.
It's Scottish. It's peer pressure. It's peer pressure, which is driving you because you don't have power to make your own decisions. So as a man, you have to have your own decision. I am a man. I'm going to remain like this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show my boy to be a man more than to be a mother.
You know, and I support that. You know, Willis, let's bring it down a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, let's bring it on down.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. To break it down, let's make it very simple. We have had no issue in this discussion with well-groomed men. And what we keep saying is, if a guy keeps going in and applying a little bit more of what is considered more feminine and takes that little bit out, Sheila, I'll just tell you, from the guys we know, when you start seeing a guy who's overdoing the other side, in terms of touching up his eyebrows a bit too much time on his hands to do those kind of things, shows up his nails are looking better than yours all the time, start getting worried about the kind of man you see. Because that man has no time to take men's responsibilities and is busy moving on to the other side to start taking things which actually amplify women. He's forgotten about what amplifies a man, which is the hard tasks of the things he does, the work he carries out every day. He's forgotten that and has gone into beauty as a way of amplifying who he is. We expect women to be beautiful. We admire women and go back to the field. It might not be a traditional farm to work for them because we say, I deserve something that beautiful. Therefore, I'm going to put in the effort for it. But when me and her both look beautiful, who's going to go back into that field and work to please the other one who's beautiful? I am telling you, be warned about a man who starts taking on those feminine little bit of habit here and there. That guy is making up for something.
Okay. I just want to put my final point, which is, I mean, every time I come to this show, every morning we discuss these issues, I realize that there is a big challenge with guys. I mean, you're really struggling with a lot of things. I mean, you look good and someone will tell you, oh, you're too gay, or oh, you're too feminine. But at the end of the day, look, whatever decision you make for, especially how you look, it's about how you feel. Nowadays, when you go to, like, did you see Willis's photos from his wedding? Do you see how cute the couple look? Imagine if Willis had watched this debut like yours, and then he just came there with a t-shirt and jeans. I think he's trying to be the most manliest guy out there, and his bride is looking like everything. Do you know Jonga Pata 5 legs?
Let me
legs, my friend. In this day and age, he still looks very, very sharp. In fact, he looks like Walienda facial now. So at the end of the day, let's just be realistic. The man's role, the man of 2017, I'll say it again and I'll keep saying it, is evolving. Stop giving guys pressure to be like their great grandfathers and what. No. Just because you're evolving, doesn't mean that you're taking up roles that were not yours. We're also, even as women, we're evolving. There are women who rock suits dapper than men, but that's not to say that they're trying to be something. They just like the suits. That's it.
Okay, what I'd like to say is that beyond everything that we have said, we must create boundaries. Let's not go beyond what we are supposed to be. That does not mean that we are not supposed to be beautiful or handsome, both in private and in public. But we have to put some lines and put some boundaries. Let's not go beyond. Everything which goes beyond the mark does not come from God.
It's very simple. Before we can make our final comments as well. Professor Brian Ihalachi anasema a man is to shower, petroleum jelly, and clean clothes. Na una rap hiyo story imeisha kabisa. Then the very angry people on 2242 which are SMS platform, one just asks, how can this be? Question mark. Mwingine amesema metrosexual, what are these? To me it's complete rubbish. It is stupidity of the highest order. A man is always a man. I'm so disappointed with you, Pastor. Makeup are meant. Oh, sorry, with the poster. Sorry, no, with the poster. Paul, with the poster. Makeup are meant for women. Men of these days want to be loved, which is the opposite. Mwanaume ndio anapenda mwanamke, sio vice versa. And then there's a doctor, his name is Dr. Bala, who was written and said most of these guys who overdo it have psychiatric diagnosis, e.g. body dysmorphic disorder, OCD, and Cluset C personality disorders. Hiyo itabidi to Google.
Also mental health.
And then kuna mwingine Sharon amejiita Sharon wa ball. Amesema pastor amedanganya eti ukivaa blazer kama demu unakuwa mjamaa. And then mwingine anasema so is Sheila saying a woman supposed to be the role model style of a man? So then should we play it? Do all women do to look good?
Look, at the end of the day, and I'll keep saying it fast, Pastor keeps saying, you know what, that we should do it, but with boundaries. The fact that we started doing it, already the boundary is gone. You understand? You can't decide, because before there was nothing like this. This wasn't even a discussion. You couldn't have this conversation with your grandfather and say, Grandpa, should we go, do a facial? He'd slap the hell out of you. Do you understand? Because that is nothing. That is like some foreign thing. But now the reality is it's happening, which means the boundary has already been opened, which means we're evolving. You can't now open that gate and say kidogo tu funga. No, it's until it keeps going, because things are evolving.
So men should tweeze.
All I'm saying is at the end of the day, as an individual, chaguoni lako. Don't sit there and say that guy, maybe that's what you want. Go and do your own nails, or keep your nails however you want. Keep it to yourself.
If you're a fundi wa mjengo, please don't go for makeup. Please. Let's maintain this. If you're an actor, you cannot behave like a fundi wa mjengo. Huwezi behave kama jamaa wa kulima shambani. So let's maintain our area, our class. And whenever you are supposed to do what, you can become that, but you are not it. You can become what you are not. Yeah, you see, but you cannot be what you are not.
All right, let's take final comments on this matter. As we start with the tutaanza na wewe pastor, kwa sababu umejingisha Sheila anasema hii topic ilikuwa
ya kwanza ni kuambia wanaonitazama, tafadhali maintain culture in this way. Where are you living and what are you doing? What are you supposed to do when? So do things. You can enter in all those offices, but your real office is a man. You can go for manicure, but you are still a man. So maintain that. Don't go every day like your wife.
Exactly.
I'll just continue to maintain the fact that whatever you do on, like, even if you do your nails or you do your eyebrows or you put extensions or you put on a dress, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change who you are. A man is biology.
Man is behavior. A man is not just biology. There's more to a man than the biology that's created. It's by how you behave. If you act like a man, behave like a man, then you are a man. If you look like a man, doesn't make you a man. It's very simple. She just talked about evolution, and what is sad is she keeps saying these things are already happening. If they're already happening, doesn't mean we can't put a curb or control to them. Surely, we're saying let's pull things in home before it's too late. If we don't start now working with Boko and a little bit of discouragement and start discouraging these things, then we become what we call a completely liberal society. And the next thing you know, Sheila will be fighting for the last wheat in that supermarket with a man. I've warned you.
Alright, so of course those are the comments and also, like we like to say, man, at the end of the day you make your choice, decide what limit yako, but pia tu mzuri kidogo pia. Just clean up kidogo, usiwache ndevu yako ikuwe kama ya Roy. Clean up a little bit and you'll be alright. And even as we want to toss it over back to Joe, who's been talking about makeup, and there's a question here on 22422 for Joey's guest as well. Cecilia says that she really likes makeup. She used foundation and she started getting pimples. She also used to apply Pond's, I don't know what that is,